Hi, I'm Nyree. I'm running an adoption channel and I've got 2 adopted boys. And I'm talking today to those of you who know that your adopted children are more challenging or they're likely to be. Those of you who don't think your children are going to be challenging, it might not be so interesting for you, although you're welcome to stick around. My boys are challenging. They've always been challenging and they've had a difficult background, difficult history, and we knew, but because we were foster carers, that we had our work cut out. And I think the thing that I want to say at the very beginning is my channel is definitely here for you if you have issues parenting and you find the whole thing like a minefield. There's lots and lots of videos on there for you. Okay, so the first thing to say about it is it's very easy for adopters who have had children who they're not finding that challenging, or have had very young children who don't know how it's going to pan out yet, to maybe present an easier path. The problem with this is for those of you who are already finding it's not an easy path and you're realizing that life is going to change forever and you're not going to have an easy life because you've taken on more difficult children, then that can be pretty soul destroying, because you're looking at what other people are saying, you're looking at social media and you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? Well, you're not doing anything wrong. You're really not doing anything wrong. It's just that there are different levels of abuse. There are different levels of situations. So some children are taken away for different situations than others. Some children are voluntarily given up. It's really reasonable to accept that there are levels, and some children have been so neglected and abused that they're going to be really challenging. And not only that, you might actually find that developmentally you begin to realise that they are quite a long way behind as well. That might come with it, it might not. The difficulty in using social media as your platform, most people don't want to share the negative times, because as parents anyway, whether we're adopted parents or not, we don't want to share negative. I wouldn't put photos on social media of the worst day I've ever had with my boys. I wouldn't share the bad times on social media, and most people don't. I would just encourage you, try not to use social media as your benchmark. Try not to look at what everybody else is doing, because your situation is yours and your child is yours, and only you know how difficult it is with your child. So I just want to give you some encouragement, if I may. I know a lot of adopters and foster carers that find children that have been traumatized really challenging, and that's why we have support funds in our country anyway for therapeutic parenting, and actually going to a therapist, because some of it needs to be unraveled. And you can't always, shall we say, minimize behavior. You know that you love your children, whatever, and you know that you don't blame your child for what they're doing. You don't kind of think that it's their fault. I know it's not the boy's fault, especially the younger one when he goes off on one. I know it's not his fault. I know why. But I'm certainly not going to accept some of the behavior. And actually, my boys are at an age now where they do know if it's right or wrong. And so I can't just sit back and say, that's okay. It's because of your background. It's because of who you are. It might well be, but it doesn't change the fact that some of it is not acceptable. So I just want to encourage you to always be clear in your mind that you can work therapeutically sometimes, but you can't do it all of the time. You can be patient sometimes, but you can't be patient all of the time, because nobody's perfect. And I think if we go around thinking that everybody else is doing really well and we're not, well, that guilt is just going to consume us, and it's going to get us down, it's going to get us depressed. You'll see from my other videos, I encourage you to take breaks, because I think that's the only real way to get a perspective on things and to be able to come back and carry on. So your child is one who is constantly needing attention all the time, and it's really, really difficult to keep going. Please take a break. It doesn't matter what that break is. It doesn't matter how short, how long, or how you do it. Please take a break. I think that's the only way. Crucially as well, try to get enough sleep. That might be that your child is preventing you from getting enough sleep, so try and get some sleep during the day, and hold back from going back to work if you can, if you don't feel ready, if you don't feel that your well-being is good enough to take on the work challenge as well as everything else. But don't let other people make you feel that you're the only one that is going through this. Lots of adoptions fail. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's true, because sometimes the behaviour is over and above whatever we could imagine. And I had the lucky thing of, I knew what I was taking on, but for so many adopters, they don't. If you can find other adopters that are local, that may be going through similar challenges to you, sometimes therapists will have groups where you can join. I guess it's going to be different wherever you are, but if you can find other adopters that actually have real challenges with their children, sleeplessness, violent behaviour, aggression, control, whatever it is, attention seeking, whatever those behaviours are, try to find other adopters that are going through similar, because it does make you feel better. It does make you feel better when other people are struggling. That's a harsh thing to say, I know, but you can be there for each other a little bit. It may be that you don't want each other's children, because that's just going to pile of pressure on, just to be able to pick up the phone call and say, you'll never believe what happened today, because often you feel you can't share what's going on. And I'm really lucky because I have my mum. She's still very much part of my life, and I feel so blessed for that. She's in her late 70s, but she's pretty switched on about how things are. I'm really lucky that I have her. My husband and I have been married for over 30 years. We can take, roll with the punches. And I've got a few other people that I can share with as well, but not that many. I know who I can share with, and I know who I can't. So find at least one or two that you can, to be able to offload, and you will get there. You will get there, and you will begin to realise that there's a pattern to things. You'll begin to see the triggers and know what's going to happen, and you'll begin to see how you can find ways of getting around things and coping. So I hope that helps you guys, and I hope that if you have got an easy child, you're not feeling negative, because if you've got an easy child, that's fantastic. I'm really pleased for you. So stick around, have a look on my channel. There's lots of adoption and parenting videos on there. There is stuff about therapeutic parenting, but I think it's pretty balanced. And there's also different topics and questions that adopters ask. So look forward to seeing you on my channel, and please subscribe. Thank you.